more sketch drawings, some more Star Wars art today. We're gonna dive right in with Ahsoka, and this fan wanted a little bit more of the 2D animation style Ahsoka, so we're going to have a lot of fun with that. And we'll just hop right in and get to it. Now, yesterday I was testing out this Prismacolor ebony pencil, and I have a love-hate relationship with it after one drawing. So what I loved about it was I really loved the way the brush pen ink worked with it once it was laid down. So from that standpoint, it was like a really, really good pencil. What I didn't love is I found it was really easy to smudge. So that might mean, using an artist glove with it, or like putting the extra sheet of paper over to like keep your hand off of things, which isn't very good for the live stream, but it would work fine to pencil. So I mean, I'm sure I'll keep using them because I bought like a 10-pack and it did work really nicely, but I don't know if it's ideal for live streaming, so I might just stick with the regular Prismacolor Premier Black for now. But we'll see. It definitely had its good points. So all these art supplies, it's a little bit of trial and error, especially when you're figuring out what works for you as an artist versus kind of what works good on the live stream, so, but it's all trial and error. So I'll just get warmed up today with this Ahsoka drawing. And then after this one, we've got a really cool Han Solo and Chewbacca for like the main event. And then we're going to wrap up with a little bit of a Star Wars mashup, so I'll let that be a surprise at the end. Hello, Florida Villainy. Good to see you. Thanks for hosting. I really enjoyed watching your stream last night. And good luck with your defense today. I don't know if that's happened already or not. But anyway, just doing this Ahsoka for like a warm-up today. Get the creative juices flowing. And then we'll go from there. And you guys know I'm new to Twitch. So I've been on for a few weeks now. So I'm figuring out new things every day, especially from watching other people. So I've added a link to my art store right on the Twitch stream page now, and I'll probably be adding some additional information for like sketch commissions and other things like that as we go. So I'm figuring it out one day at a time right now. You guys know me, I'm all about the eyebrows and the eyes, so I like to get those locked down pretty early in the drawing. This one I feel pretty fortunate with. I kind of feel like in the blue line phase I kind of worked out a lot of things, so hopefully that's a good sign. Keep us out of trouble moving forward. At least that's the goal. I've always said that Ahsoka is just such a good character design, and that kind of goes for all the versions of her, right? The three-dimensional versions and the 2D versions. It's just a really, really elegant design and so nice to draw. I think I've said it before, but you can be a fan of certain things, but it doesn't mean they're fun to draw. So when you get something that you're a fan of and it's fun and exciting to draw, then it's like a bonus. So just try to get all of our line work done, and again going for more of like a 2D animation kind of style for her. So that should give us some new kind of visuals to play with today. Well, if anybody's just hanging out or want to get on the chat, let me know what you guys are up to this week. Can you believe it's Thursday already? Yesterday was kind of a disruptive day here. There were like road crews working on the street outside of our house all day, so lots of machinery and noise and vibrations, and kind of felt like it was a little bit of a lost day, so it's nice to have a little bit of peace and quiet today, and I'm feeling like super productive and super creative. So hopefully you guys are too. And it's been really fun to have Disney Plus and get to go back and catch up on a lot of these Star Wars animated shows that I would have seen, maybe once when they originally aired, and, maybe one more time on video or something, but now I have access to them all the time. It's been a real treat. So I really want to do this sort of like thick, thin line thing with her eyes and her eyelashes. And I think that'll really serve us well, especially once we get the ink on there. So you guys have to let me know what some of your favorite Star Wars characters are, and what you thought of like Ahsoka and Anakin's relationship in the series, especially now that some time has passed. We've had some new episodes and new reveals. Got her fighting with her dual sabers here. One of the things I like about this design is the way that everything just sort of flows. The hand flows into the wrist, into the forearm, and it's just so nice, so well done. It's always good to see like really elegant and clean animation designs, All right. So I had to go out in public yesterday for, I think, only the second time since this whole lockdown has started. And I had to go to the gas station to get some propane for the barbecue, and I had to go to the grocery store. And I was a little shocked at the gas station because out of about 15 or 20 people, the only people wearing masks were me and one of the cashiers. But I will say I was pleasantly surprised when I got to the grocery store, where I would say it seemed like at least a full, 60% or more of people were wearing some sort of, mask or face covering or something. So it seems like, at least at the grocery store, there was a few more people taking everything more seriously than the last time I had to get out. So I think that's a good sign. Hopefully help us flatten the curve, because we all have to kind of work together at it. All right, so there's our quick little pencils. I can grab the brush pen and start to put in the blacks. I just love these brush pens. So this is the Pitt Artist Pen, and it has the brush point on it. I don't know if you can see that or not, and it like flexes when you use it, so you can get like a thinner line or a thicker line. And this being the animation style, we might go with a little bit thicker lines, but it's just nice to have that control, just to be able to get in there and sort of dial it in the way you want it. And I'm a little on the nearsighted side, or maybe a lot on the nearsighted side, so I find that like if I really get close to the paper, I can have more control of the line weight than if I'm farther away like I am when I do these streams. But for the most part, it works out okay. But if you're careful, you can really get like a really, really thin line, and then just flex the tip of it to make it fatten up. So it can work really, really well. So like something like the armbands, if you, depending on the style you were doing, you could do like the lower ink line on the armband thick, and if you wanted to, you could come back and do like the upper band a little bit thinner, and that might give it a little bit more depth and dimension. And again, being that this is an animated style one, we may not be that concerned with it, but it's just something to think about, something you can do with your own art. Fatten the curve, yeah, that's how I feel right now. I'm fattening the curve with all the good food I've been eating with Christy home, and she's been cooking and baking, and I'm definitely fattening the curve. How are you doing today? Thanks for joining. I was kind of surprised yesterday. I usually don't stream on Wednesdays, and we had a really big turnout yesterday. I mean, comparably. So we'll see who shows up today. I'm definitely glad for the company. So I knocked out the pencils on this, and now I'm just going to do some inking. This commission was for like a 2D animated style Ahsoka, so a little bit different than what I've been doing, but it should be fun. I'm pretty psyched about it. And then after this, the main sketch today is going to be a Chewbacca Han Solo piece. Chewie with all that fur. It should be a fun challenge. Hi Evan, good to see you. Thanks everybody for joining today. It's a little cool and cloudy here in Arizona today, and I think it's got me kind of relaxed. I'm feeling like super productive and super creative today, and I've already got a lot accomplished today, so I'm hoping that means I can relax a little bit and have a lot of fun with these sketches today. Ooh, you didn't get much sleep. I hate that. I woke up early this morning too, not as early as you did. The cat decided to go under the covers and attack my feet at it was probably like 5:30 or so. I don't know why she decided to do that, but she did. She decided that my feet would make good target practice for her claws and teeth. So that was not the way I wanted to wake up, but it's all right. I got up and went for an early morning walk while the weather was still decent, and that all worked out just fine. So I'm pretty excited about this Ahsoka. I like this 2D animated style this person asked for, so I think it's going to be a lot of fun and a little bit of a contrast from some of the other stuff. I've been getting some sketches ready for today and for next week, and maybe we've got some cool stuff coming up, so if you've been liking the channel, I think it's just going to get better. I think part of what makes it is, or you guys, everyone who's watching, and then everyone who's getting the commissions and coming up with all the great ideas. I mean, it definitely makes it entertaining for me, and hopefully more entertaining for you as well. Since you didn't get any sleep last night, is this a kind of situation where you can have an early night tonight, or not? Knowing you probably have some late night plans. And this character design is so good. Just the way things flow into each other. It's so much fun to draw. I don't know about you guys, but this just makes me want to get a lightsaber out and start playing with it. I was able to get the power and control saber from Galaxy's Edge when I was there last year, and it's so cool. I'm really impressed with it. Did Lucas design her? I don't know. I should know. You know what? Instead of acting like I know, I'm just going to admit that I don't know. I don't know if it was Doug Chang or one of the animators. I don't know. I should know, but I don't. How many lightsabers do I have? Oh, okay, Quench Press. I won't talk to you. I only have 2 lightsabers. I have the one real one from Galaxy's Edge, and I have a really, really old, I mean, I guess I'll call it a bootleg, but it was before they were making official ones. And it uses like the old Indiglo technology. I think I got it at like Wizard World Chicago, I don't know, before the prequels probably came out. And it has like a really nice aluminum hilt, but you know, the blade technology is like super outdated now. But at the time, it was the first one that like really lit up and looked cool. But the ones from Galaxy's Edge are just like, you know, they're hefty. They've got a bunch of weight to them, and I don't know if it's aluminum or some other kind of metal, but you know, it's real metal, and you assemble it yourself. And I was real impressed with it. I didn't know what to expect, but I was real impressed. Just trying to decide how dark. Yeah, I think for her main costume we can go pretty dark. That'll give us some contrast with everything else anyway. But yeah, I only own 2 sabers. You built yours and your kids. And when you say built, do you mean like assembled from a kit, or like you turn the aluminum on a lathe? I mean, there's a lot of different ways to interpret that. And so how many total then did you make? And tell me like what color the blades are and all that stuff. I've met a couple of people who are in the I can't remember the name of the club, but they do the real lightsaber battles that's like scored, and they're pretty hardcore. And here in Phoenix, they used to do when Phoenix Comic-Con was at its height, when it was, you know, over 100,000 people, they would close off some of the streets and they would do like a lightsaber Jedi walk kind of thing at dusk. And so it's almost like a mini parade, and everybody's walking down the streets with their lightsabers. It's pretty cool. I was usually inside the convention building, so I would only get to see photos of it, but still impressive. Each one has multiple blade colors. Wow. That's really cool. Really cool. I'm impressed. I'm impressed with your skills. So I probably will keep the rendering on this one pretty flat, pretty true to the cartoon. We may add a little bit of shadow around her mantle and like her jawline or something, but I think for the most part it's going to stay pretty cartoonish, because this one is a kind of a companion piece to the last sketch we'll do today. It's for the same person, and that one is definitely cartoonish, so I don't want them to be like too strikingly different in case they hang them up side by side or something. So the ones you built had soundboards in them. That's cool too. Yeah, the first one I had didn't have any sounds. But it illuminated, and that was the first time I'd ever seen one that did that. And then the new ones, the Disney ones at least. I mean, they do the sounds, and I know that you can hack like the kyber crystal or something to make the blade be any color you want, of the colors that are in there. So I haven't. I mean, I think I have a red kyber crystal, and I think I have a blue kyber crystal. So I can just change the blade color that way. But I know some people have figured out how to hack them and just make the blade whatever color they want it to be. It's really cool that you built your own, though. I have like deep respect for anybody who takes the time to do that kind of stuff. Whether it's droid builders or saber builders. I see the guys that make their own like R2D2 or BB-8 or something. I'm like, oh man, I'd love to do that. And you talk to them, and they have like $10,000 or $20,000 in parts invested into it, and 2 or 3 years of their time, and you realize like it's a major project. When Christy and I were at Disney's D23 Expo one time, I don't know if it was Kurt Zimmerman or a different droid builder, but he had his BB-8 there and a Wall-E, and I had never seen like a real Wall-E droid before, and it was super, super impressive. I mean, I guess I've just seen so many R2s and stuff in my day that I love them, but they don't like shock me. But to see that Wall-E running around the convention hall and stopping and posing for photos and everything, it was really cool. You had to learn to solder. My father was a mechanic for airline and for cars, and he was in avionics and electronics and all that stuff. So I learned to solder at a pretty young age. I would imagine the first burns I ever got were probably from soldering. But what's the stuff called? Flux. Boy, that makes all the difference in the world, keeping it from sticking and everything. I didn't learn that for a long time. I know when I was a kid, the solder still had real lead in it, and it seemed like it was much easier to work with than the newer stuff. Alright, so let's go with like maybe like a 50 or a 60 for her mantle. Yeah, that should look good. So have you made any other electronic projects then, now that you're the solder master? Because now you've got the gear, you're good to go. So did you have to like mill the aluminum pieces, or was it like a kit? I'm always interested in that stuff. I think I'm the kind of person that I can put things together. Like I could build a kit, but I don't know that I could, design it in CAD and mill it out of aluminum and do all that stuff. I know some of the 501st guys, they make a lot of their own weapons, and they'll do, 3D printing in plastic, and then make a mold or that kind of thing. Just sabers. You built 5. Wow. That's impressive. I mean, that's more than Luke Skywalker built, as far as I know. I think that'd be fun. I could see building one. That'd be cool. nice to get hands-on with something, you know. It's a different kind of creative experience, a different kind of satisfaction than artwork, so I could see that being a good project. Now, did the kids help you? Are they old enough to help or participate, or was this just something you did for them? You bought the empty hilts. Oh, that's cool. So you kind of assemble the different parts and pieces and then build it up. That's really cool. This is fun. I kind of like this version of her. It's such a good character design, you know? It'd be real interesting to see how they handle this character on The Mandalorian next season. From like a costuming perspective. And like, you know, will they use a practical headpiece, like a prosthetic? Or will it be like CG or something, you know? Oh, you built them for the kids as presents. Well, that was super nice of you. What a good dad. You like some sort of like Father of the Year award for that shit. Alright, that was 60%. So let's go. Thinking like 20 for her skin, and then we can go back and add some shading in as needed. But yeah, one of the sketches that we'll be doing next week is Mandalorian related, so that got me thinking about Ahsoka showing up on Mandalorian next season. I wonder if it's going to be like, I haven't really read anything about it yet, so I don't know if it's going to be like an episode or a reoccurring character, or are we gonna have to wait the whole season and just get her at the very end? I don't know. I mean, she's so popular that if fans like her at all, it could just turn into its own show, you know? Ahsoka and Baby Yoda Adventures. Cara Dune action going in there too. Right? Yeah, it's been so good. Yeah, right. Yeah, I know. I'm worried that like you say, we'll get to see her for the last minute and a half of the last episode next season or something, and that'll be it. And they'll be like, catch her story in season 3, and we'll just be like, no. Just build it up and hype it up all of season 2. And we never see her until the last 30 seconds. Wonder what other surprises they have in store for us. I want to see that Obi-Wan show happen, but every time I hear any news about it, it's always bad news. You know, we fired somebody or got a new showrunner or delays or something else. By the time it happens, Ewan McGregor really will be as old as like Alec Guinness was in episode 4. Yeah, I know. Obi-Wan. I can't wait. Alright, getting close here. So we'll do just some... I think we've got this out. We can just hit a couple of like shading detail strokes over here. So that's the 20. So let's grab the 40. Yeah, young Ahsoka's cool, right? Like Padawan Ahsoka. Definitely a cool character. I'm looking forward to some of these new characters that they're coming out with. I'm blanking on the new timeline, but the new series of books and stories that are taking place like 1,000 years before any of the movies. More like the old Western Jedi kind of stuff. I hope that really takes off and turns into its own kind of world, you know? Right? Yeah, when she has attitude. Exactly. I want to meet her and Sabine. Oh, that's cool. Well, I've met Ashley, who does the voice of Ahsoka, a few times. She's super cool in person, like really down to earth. And of course, she runs her universe or owns her universe, so she's all about the Star Wars stuff. All right, so there's our warm-up sketch. It does looking pretty good. I'll go in and tweak out the lightsabers a little bit before I send it off, but I think that's good. Try to keep that signature from getting too sloppy. Sometimes I'm all over the place with that thing. Alright, so there's the warm-up sketch of the day. Now we can move on to the main event.